Welcome back to another episode of Microdose with TheMoDose Cannabis. I'm your host Mo, and we're in the kitchen. It is extremely hot outside, so today we're going to make THC infused popsicles, and we're going to do it 3 ways. So the first is a lemonade with some seasonal fruits. The second is an ode to my homegirl who loves pineapple, so we're going to make a pineapple creamsicle, and then the third is a traditional orange creamsicle. The THC infusion base that we're going to use for all 3 is honey, so we're going to go over that in just a minute. But for the sake of dosing, I did about 10 grams to 1 cup, so that's going to give us about 30 grams per tablespoon. For the sake of what I'm doing today, I just want to give you guys a baseline, and of course, you can adjust according to what you feel comfortable with your dosage. And then the last thing is that you need something to actually just make these popsicles in. So I picked these up on Amazon for like 15 bucks. You can make these in, Dixie cup or ice cube trays if you have that. So let's just jump into the recipe. Let's do it. To get started with this THC honey infusion, you want to go ahead and add your cannabis to some cheesecloth and then wrap it up and tie it up with some cooking string, almost like a homemade tea bag. Then you want to go ahead and add that to your jar. Add your honey. In this case, we're going to be using a cup of honey, and then you close the lid, put it into your crock pot, and leave it for up to 4 hours. Our first popsicle is by far the easiest. It is our lemonade with seasonal fruit. If you are going to buy your lemonade, it is even easier. So today I actually did that. I bought some Simply lemonade, and I am going to go ahead and zest 1 lime into that lemonade. I poured 1 cup in here, and then I'm going to zest half of this lime to bring out that flavor. This zester is probably my favorite kitchen utensil of all the things I have. So underrated. Zesting really does take things to the next level. If you don't want to purchase your lemonade, you can easily make your own by just boiling equal parts sugar, equal parts water, letting it cool, and then mixing in some lemon juice. And then of course, adding a little zest to it. All right, so let's go ahead and make the magic happen. So I've got my honey here, and it is actually slightly warm. And on the flip side of that, I've actually waited till my lemonade was room temperature before I started to mix everything together. The reason for that is we want to make sure that this honey dissolves nicely into our lemonade. And if you use cold lemonade, it's not going to dissolve evenly. So just keep that in mind when you're making your mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons, and just note that I am making a really small batch right now because I'm making 3 versions, but you can go ahead and double and triple or whatever this recipe. So I am just gonna add 2 tablespoons to this mixture here. 1 and 2. Cut and print. Beautiful, guys. So another pro tip here is we want to make sure that we add our seasonal fruits before we add our liquid mixture, because otherwise the fruit will float around to the top if we pour the liquid first and then try to add the fruit. So we're just going to go ahead and drop in All right, so we're gonna make our second popsicle, which is our pineapple coconut creamsicle. And we're gonna start that off by just going ahead and pureeing 1 cup of pineapple. I've added it to my NutriBullet. You can use a blender or whatever else you have to just make sure that you get it nice and pureed. So like I said, I'm gonna be using my NutriBullet. Here we go. juicy pineapples, and I don't like to put my nose all up in it, but give that pass through. Smells good. Okay, let's put that to the side. So we're gonna go ahead and actually take back our pineapple that has been pureed, and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of our infused honey. Pump it 1 or 2 times in the NutriBullet. Voila. Get it. Ooh. Great. Okay, so onto the cream base. And I'm starting with my Greek non-fat yogurt. You can use whole fat if you'd like. This is just my preference. I am going to be adding a 1/4 of a cup to a bowl. So that much. Great. Set this to the side. And then we're gonna be adding a 1/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. 1/4 of a cup, heavy whipping cream. Then onto the good stuff. Shake up some coconut milk and add a 1/4 of a cup and just a little bit more. I don't even know how to explain that, but just like an extra splash. A 1/4 and a tablespoon, how about that? So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up because it gets pretty like, I don't know, whatever the hell it gets. Add in 2 tablespoons of this stuff. 2 tablespoons, and then set it to the side. And then we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of our infused honey. So yeah, we're adding a tablespoon to the pina colada pineapple mix, and then 1 tablespoon to the actual cream mix, so that it's present in both aspects of our popsicle. Okay, and then I've got a spatula over here. So everything is combined nicely, and that's it. 10 seconds or so, that's it. Okay, so I'm actually gonna add another tablespoon of honey to this. I don't know, I want these to have a little punch, a little bit more of a punch. A little bit more of a punch. There we go. Yes. Okay, so for this one, I actually do have to do it in 2 parts. So I'm gonna alternate between the pineapple mixture and our cream mixture. Make sure you shake all of the pineapple mixture together. You don't want that honey to settle. I would just give it an extra zhuzh in your NutriBullet. But we're gonna start with, and this does come with a handy dandy filler. I'm actually not gonna use it for the pineapple. I am just gonna do 1. And then we're gonna put this in the freezer for about 15 minutes, and we're gonna come back and layer on the cream and then top it off again with the pineapple, okay? Moving on to our third popsicle is the traditional orange creamsicle. And I am actually going to try something new with one of these popsicles. You'll see what I mean. I really want to try to get the actual cream inside of the orange part. That one might fail, but who knows? This is going to be both of us trying to figure it out together. So I'm going to do one version where it's layered with the cream and the orange, and then another one where I actually tried to keep the cream stuck inside of the orange. So first things first, I'm not necessarily the healthiest person. Like I definitely have I love sweets, I have my vices, but I try not to go with like overly processed things often. However, you kind of have to go with the orange concentrate to really get a good tasting orange creamsicle. So I am going to use the Minute Maid orange concentrate. This has been in the freezer. I defrosted it so it's like half frozen, and I'm just gonna doctor it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add this full shebang to a bowl. Okay, there we go. It's like kind of watery, kind of frozen. Okay. Okay, so we've got our concentrate. First things first, we are actually going to squeeze the juice, oh my gosh, excuse me, of half of an orange right into the concentrate. Ugh. That one was juicy. Yes. Okay. And then what I was trying to pick up before, this damn zester. I've already cleaned these oranges. Don't you worry. You want to make sure you clean it, but we're going to zest half of an orange into our semi-homemade mixture. That's what we'll call it. All the processed shit in here, it's fine. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon to our orange mixture. I'm actually gonna do a tablespoon and a half for this one. Okay, so we're gonna put this down and we're actually gonna whisk this together because we want it to fully incorporate into our semi-homemade orange concentrate. Okay, so we've got that mixed up. Now we're gonna put it to the side and switch back over to our cream. Okay, on to the cream for the creamsicle. All right, so we are going to do 1 cup of Greek yogurt. Again, I'm using non-fat Greek yogurt. Feel free to use whole, whatever, or regular yogurt if you prefer. And then we are going to then mix in half a cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay. Of course, we are on to our honey. We are going to add 2 tablespoons of honey in here. 1 and 2 full ones. Overflow a little. All right. The last thing we're gonna do from an ingredient stance is add in a teaspoon, a very full teaspoon of vanilla extract. One last thing, y'all guessed it, I am gonna add just a little bit of orange zest into the cream. Not too much, don't want it to overpower the actual orange from the semi-homemade mixture we have. But maybe just a 1/4 of a teaspoon, nothing too crazy, okay? Okay, so as a part of my trial run, I am gonna fill I'm gonna fill 2 of these ice cube trays that I have, kind of maybe 1/4 of the way from the bottom. And I'm gonna try to freeze these and then try to stick them into the middle of just an orange base. See if I can make it more like a traditional creamsicle, okay? So this looks a little messy, but yeah, 1/4 from the bottom. I'm gonna pop that in the freezer and see if I can make something work with that. But for me, I'm actually gonna add a spritz of normal honey in here just for regular sweetener. Of course, you can always add more infused honey, but if you want to control your experience, it's okay to add regular honey just to get the sweetness or the taste that you want. You don't have to go crazy with the can of honey if you don't want to. I hope that you enjoyed today's recipe and you continue to like, subscribe, follow, interact. Just show some love. Thank you for joining Microdose with MoDose Cannabis. And I'm Mo, and I'll see you next time.